Hi folks, and welcome to Moneyhead Financial Academy. I'm your instructor for today, Jerry Penner. Okay, so you've thought a little bit about why you want to retire, and you have a tangible reason to do so. You've built your financial statement so that you know what you make, what you spend, what you own, and what you owe. You've plugged the income and expense numbers from your financial statement into your budget calculator, and it just won't balance no matter what you do. You always run out of money before you run out of month. There's no savings because there's nothing left to save. How do you get your budget to balance? There are two ways to get your income to exceed your expenses. Increase your income or decrease your expenses. Sounds simple, right? It's just grade school math, right? No, it's not. If you've already used the budget calculator and you just can't get your budget to balance, it's not the math that's giving you trouble, it's the psychology. Albert Einstein famously said, "The significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them." What this means is that your own thinking is holding you back from seeing the possible solutions. In the first video of this series, I asked, "What is your why?" and led you through the 5 whys technique to get you to the real root of why you're here. To recap, the 5 whys technique has you ask yourself, why do you want to do this? In this specific example, the question would be, why do you want your budget to balance? Restate the answer to the first why as a why question. Answer that question. Restate the second answer as a why question and answer that. Continue until you've answered the 5th why. You now have the real, true reason why you want your budget to balance. Write that down and place it where you can see it every day. Once you have your why firmly in place, you will find this is most likely the number one thing in your top 10 priorities in your life. What are your other priorities? What is their order? Start by making a list of the most likely top 10 most important things in your life. Doesn't matter what order they are in, we're going to find out the correct order shortly. A bubble sort is a computer software term. This kind of sort iterates through a list of unsorted items and applies tests to the first 2 to determine if the one at the top is truly the number 1 priority. If item number 2 is more important than item number 1, switch the order. Now repeat for items 2 and 3. Go through the whole list. Once you've made the first pass, do it again. Repeat until you can get through the list without changing the order of any 2 items. Your top 10 list of priorities in your life are now sorted. Write down that list and keep it with you. Here's a sample list of items that might be on your list. Car and house. Which of these is most important? If you don't have a car, you can still get to work by any other means of transportation than private car. If you don't have a place to live, you're pretty much screwed because you'll need some place to live, whether it's a house, apartment, or your car. So you need a place to live before you need your own private car. The place to live doesn't even have to be a house as long as it's a safe place for you to sleep. An apartment will do. So let's change the house to place to live and swap the order of number 1 and number 2. Okay, let's compare number 2 and number 3. If I didn't have enough money to pay my car expenses and feed, clothe, and house my immediate family, which one would I choose to fund? Probably immediate family. So let's swap number 2 and 3. Next, number 3 and number 4. Am I prepared to risk going bankrupt in order to keep my car? Definitely not. Some people are hooked on the idea of having a nice vehicle in the driveway to impress the neighbors, or the folks at work, or clients. They care about what other people think of them and want to put up appearances of being rich, even if they aren't. The guy with the shiny new $100,000 King Cab truck? He probably doesn't have any money. He has payments. In Texas, they call this kind of person all hat and no cattle. So let's swap number 3 and number 4. 4 and 5. Am I prepared to sacrifice a comfortable retirement for a really cool vehicle? For me, the answer is a hard no. My current truck is over 10 years old and still works well. I'm not spending money I could be using to get me to retirement on a showpiece that will sit in the driveway more than I will drive it. I use it to pick up and haul junk, carry items to trade shows. I use it like a truck. As long as it will continue to get me where I need to go, I will keep it. When I do replace it, it'll probably be with another used truck so that I can continue to haul and tow stuff. So let's swap 4 and 5. That's one iteration. I can now ask myself similar what-if scenarios for each item pair in the list to see if any more changes are required. For me, financial security trumps all others on the list because if I can't manage my money, I can't have a place to live, or cover the needs of my immediate family, or save for retirement, or afford a car of any type. A place to live is necessary, but it doesn't have to be my dream home. Not yet. My immediate family is important to me. More important than a place to live? Am I prepared to live in my car to keep my family together? Sure, family can't be replaced. So after multiple iterations, my list looks like this. Hidden motives will come up when working your way through your own list. Convenience is one. Safety and security is another. Public image is another. Ability to provide is yet another. Comfort is another. You can use the 5 whys technique to dig into the hidden motives in your list to see if the order truly represents your desires or if there's an underlying motive you weren't aware of. Let's explore some of these. No doubt you've heard of the often used money-saving tip of not buying coffee on your way to work each morning. The hidden motive behind this is convenience. It's convenient to pay someone else to make our coffee for us in the morning. Are you saving any time? Probably not. You're sitting in your car, in a queue, waiting to be served. I'm sure it would take you about as much time or less to make your own coffee or tea at home and pour it into a travel mug as you would spending in line waiting. You're trading convenience for money that is better spent elsewhere. Safety and security is an argument that is often used in relation to our children. We want our children to be safe, so we choose the biggest, sturdiest, safest vehicle we can afford to get them from point A to point B. This is a marketing ploy. All vehicles have to pass rigid safety tests in order to be allowed on our roads at all. We don't want our little darlings to be abducted on their way to and from school, so we drive them. We don't want them to hurt themselves on the way to the school bus, so we drive them to the bus pickup point. Marketers are playing on your fears in order to sell you their vehicle. Once you recognize and acknowledge this, you can see through their tactics and save yourself some serious money. Public image is huge. What will the neighbors think? Is an unconscious thought we have all had at one time or another. It's this unconscious thought that causes us to spend money we don't have on things we don't need to impress people we don't like. Like the lawyer or doctor who needs a car to get to work and chooses a new luxury sedan over a used economy subcompact. We need to keep up appearances, right? I've seen rental property owners showing up to back-to-back viewings of a new listing to see if they want to add it to their portfolio. Know what they drive? Used cars and trucks. You know what they wear? Working clothes. You'd think they were the handyman for the property, not the potential owner. This one is not necessarily negative. It can be a motivator or a demotivator. If I lose my job, I would feel pretty devastated about my ability to provide for my family. Men tend to tie their self-worth to their job more tightly than women. When a man loses his job, he loses part of himself, part of his identity. Strike up a casual conversation with someone that you've just met, and you're likely to ask, "So what do you do?" If I lose my motivation to provide for myself and my family, I am likely to just take whatever comes, expecting that lack of abundance is what I deserve. If I take a job loss in a positive light, I can see that I've been given the opportunity to seek a better paying position than the one I had. If I have multiple income streams, my ability to provide is only partially affected by the loss of a job. Oh, we want to be comfortable, don't we? Heat in the winter, air conditioning in the summer, soft furniture in our homes and cars. But comfort also extends to habits. The things we do the same way every day give us a sense of comfort because they are familiar. The coffee we get on the way to work, the meals we choose, the restaurants we visit, the little rituals in our lives. Change can be uncomfortable. To some, it's even painful. However, compare the desire for your why against the fear of change. Which is stronger? You don't have to change everything today. Just pick one small thing to explore. Explore a little bit of discomfort to help you reach your why. After a while, you'll have a new habit and a new comfort level. Stoicism can be an excellent research topic to help you get started. I deserve it. This is the mantra I hear when someone is selecting something frivolous. I deserve to sit and have a beer while I watch the game because I had a hard day. I'm having ice cream because it's hot and I deserve it. I got a raise, so I deserve a new car. Again, the marketing team got you. They want you to have a sense of entitlement for fancy things because they want your money. You have to ask yourself, which do you want more? A financially secure retirement or fancy stuff? I choose to have the fancy stuff after I've created the financially secure retirement. Income is the other half of the balance sheet. When I got married, I handed off the financial duties to my wife because that's the way my parents did it. Pop went out and made the money, handed his paycheck to Ma, got an allowance for the week, and Ma took care of paying all the bills. Pretty simple, right? Didn't work for me. My wife was not great at handling money. I didn't know we were in trouble until I started getting calls from creditors asking when they may expect payments on my overdue accounts. I started asking questions of my wife to find out just how deep the hole was. We stopped spending on stupid stuff, but capping expenses wasn't enough. I needed to generate more income. What did I tell myself to do? Work your arse off! I had one full-time job washing cars. I got a second one doing factory work on weekends. I got a third one doing retail on Thursday and Friday nights. All in all, I was working 60 hours a week. By this method, I was able to turn a lot of unproductive time at home into extra cash to get me out of debt faster. Asking for a raise at your current position is another possibility. The best way to do this is to approach it from the perspective of your employer as opposed to what you get out of it. Find out the salary range of someone in your position with your level of experience in your area. Glassdoor and Monster are great websites for this kind of information. Your company hired you to make them money. The amount they spend on you is less than the amount you generate for them with your efforts. If you can demonstrate how much more you do for them than what you cost, you are more likely to get a raise. If the boss says no, consider moving on. Switching jobs can boost your salary by 10 to 20%. When was the last time you got a 10 to 20% salary increase? There are all sorts of jobs out there for people who want them. If you're willing to do something that nobody else wants to do, you will have no competition. I offer handyman services, junk runs, and sharpening services, to name a few. I keep my eyes open in the local Facebook groups for people looking for these types of services and announce myself when someone asks. Cleaning services are a big deal. Contact the property managers in your area and let them know that you are available for end-of-month cleanouts. All that stuff that tenants have left behind has to get removed and the place cleaned and painted before new tenants can move in. If you can do that, you will never run out of work. Think of things that people can't or won't do. Dog waste cleanup, lawn maintenance, pet sitting, resume building, painting, assembling or moving furniture, fixing lawnmowers. The list is endless. Find out what others are charging in your area to do these things and let folks know you are available. Setting up your own sole proprietorship has other advantages. We'll get to those in another video. For today's homework, you have a lot on your plate. A lot of it is hacking your own brain through the power of psychology. If you can change your thinking, you can change your life. Given your top 10 priority list, what changes can you make to your expenses? Leave your answers in the comments. What are you going to do to generate more income? How much more income can you generate? Leave your income ideas in the comments as well. Given the new ways to view your income and expenses, how much better does your budget balance now?